History remembers Cleopatra, the Queen of Egypt, the seductress, the tragic heroine. But few remember Arsinoe, Cleopatra's sister, her rival, a queen in her own right. Arsinoe lived in the shadow of her famous sibling, a shadow filled with ambition, jealousy, and courage. This is her story, the story of a princess who dared to challenge an empire. Arsinoe's story is a secret history, hidden for centuries. It's a story of betrayal and bravery, of love and loss, of a young woman fighting for her birthright. Ancient Egypt, a land of pharaohs and pyramids, of the majestic Nile River and scorching desert sands. But behind the grandeur, a dynasty crumbled. The Ptolemaic dynasty, rulers for centuries, were now plagued by corruption and greed. At the heart of it all was the royal family. Power was their birthright. But power was also a weapon they wielded against each other. Brothers plotted against brothers, sisters turned on sisters. Intrigue hung in the air. Poison was a tool of choice, and betrayal was as common as the desert sand. This was the world into which Arsinoe was born, a world where survival depended on cunning and ruthlessness. Arsinoe's early life was one of privilege and peril. As a daughter of Ptolemy XII, the king of Egypt, she was a princess of the royal bloodline. She lived in palaces filled with unimaginable luxury. Her every whim was a command, but danger lurked everywhere. Her father, weak and indecisive, was nicknamed Oletes, the flute player, for his love of pleasure over duty. His weakness invited enemies. Rome, hungry for conquest, circled the kingdom. Arsinoe, even as a child, was different. She possessed a sharp mind and an even sharper tongue. She observed the games of power and learned the art of survival. She knew that to survive in this serpent's nest, she had to be as cunning as a viper. Section 4. Fires of Rebellion, the Rise of Arsinoe. When Arsinoe was just a teenager, turmoil engulfed Egypt. Her father, facing rebellion, fled to Rome, leaving his kingdom and children behind. Cleopatra, the eldest, was left to rule, but Arsinoe, young and ambitious, was not content to be sidelined. The kingdom fractured. Rebels challenged Cleopatra's rule. Rome, sensing opportunity, waited to pounce. In this chaos, Arsinoe saw her chance. She would not be a pawn in her sister's game. Arsinoe allied herself with the rebels. She embraced their cause, becoming a symbol of defiance against Cleopatra and Roman influence. Her bravery in the face of danger won her the loyalty of the people. Arsinoe, the forgotten princess, was becoming a force to be reckoned with. Section 5. A throne denied, exile and defiance. Arsinoe's rebellion was short-lived. Cleopatra, with the might of Rome behind her, crushed her enemies. Arsinoe, defeated and facing her sister's wrath, was forced to flee. She sought refuge in the temple of Artemis, a sanctuary even Cleopatra dared not violate. But exile didn't break Arsinoe. From the safety of the temple, she plotted her return. She sent messages to her supporters, fanning the flames of resistance. She knew Cleopatra's hold on power was tenuous. One misstep, one act of cruelty could be Cleopatra's undoing. Arsinoe waited for her moment. She honed her political skills, learned the art of diplomacy, and bided her time. She would not be a forgotten princess, living out her days in exile. She would be queen. She would have her revenge. Section 6. The Battle for Alexandria, a Queen's Courage. Fate, it seemed, had other plans for Arsinoe. Julius Caesar, the ruler of Rome, arrived in Alexandria. Drawn into the conflict between the sisters, he sought to mediate, to bring peace to the fractured kingdom. But peace was not what Arsinoe desired. She saw Caesar's arrival as an opportunity. Escaping from the temple, she presented herself to Caesar not as a defeated rebel, but as the rightful heir to the Egyptian throne. She used all her cunning, all her intelligence to sway him to her cause. Caesar was intrigued by Arsinoe. He saw in her a strength that Cleopatra lacked, a fire that could be kindled to Rome's advantage. He agreed to back her claim, setting the stage for a final confrontation between the sisters. The battle for Alexandria had begun.